Hi there and welcome back to the official LAMH podcast. This is episode 2. Last episode we chatted about our organisation, which contains some valuable insights from our guests Jack and Mark into their own personal experiences with LAMH. Thank you to those who have tuned in to our first episode and bearing with us as we look to explore this modern world of podcasting, and we're learning along the way. So don't worry if you've not had a chance to listen to episode 1 yet. It is currently available on Spotify and it's also on Amazon Music. Hopefully by the time this podcast gets aired, it's also on YouTube. That's something that we're working towards just now. So, it is up for an eternity now. Really with how kind of streaming works, so there's no rush for you to get around and listening to it. It really is full of useful background information and setting the scene for future episodes. We had some great guest speakers, and if you want to kind of find out more information, please take a look at our socials to find out more about that. So your host today will be myself, Jamie. I'm back, and we have my colleague Anne here with me making her podcasting debut.
Oh, hi Jamie.
Hi Anne, how are you doing and how are you finding being part of this podcasting team?
Oh yeah, it's a wee bit scary, but my loving husband said to me this morning that I have a face for a podcast, so I know.
And I'll edit out what you'd really want to be saying.
Oh yeah, Jamie, please do.
It's said out of love. It's said out of love. That's an open goal for a husband. That's a classic husband line.
He's on the dishes.
So Anne, could you tell us the listeners a wee bit more about the topic of this podcast?
Yes, of course I can, Jamie. So this episode we're going to discuss Christmas. We're fast approaching. Loneliness is a subject that we often forget about and probably overlook it at this busy time of year. So we're hoping to give the listeners some information on warm spaces in your community over the period.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tricky time of year, isn't it? Yeah. I think we touched on that at the end of the last episode. For some, it can be such a kind of warm, cosy period, whereas that's not everybody's realities. So, how are you personally feeling about the holidays coming up?
Well, I feel this year's went by so quick, Jamie. I'm thinking, summertime, next minute we're in the winter. So if I'm really honest, I'm not organised at all. I'm going to be running last minute round the shops and my anxiety will be through the roof. Yeah,
no, I think that there's so much pressure for that perfect Christmas, running around trying to get everything right. The holidays, it comes with a lot of pressure. It's supposed to be a time of kind of love, cheer, merriment. But as we kind of mentioned there, the reality can look a wee bit different. Maybe you have lost a family member. Maybe you're struggling with your own physical or mental health, and with the cost of living crisis as well. Worried about the financial situation. So it's a lot of kind of things, a lot of stressors there that are probably on the forefront of a lot of people's minds. So there's so many reasons why somebody could be struggling. You just never know what they're going through, and if they are feeling lonely.
Yeah, you're right there, Jamie. And it's understandably. Loneliness is a really difficult emotion. I was having a wee look at the NHS website, Jamie, and it was saying everyone's experience of loneliness is different and it's personal to each year's. So you shouldn't blame yourself if you're feeling lonely just now or at any time of the year. It's also really important to remember that loneliness is difficult, but the feelings can pass.
Yeah, I think that normalising the definition of it, it's from what you're saying there, it just emphasises the importance to not sweep this kind of stuff under the carpet. Openly discuss the negative implications that this time of year can have on people. I think I'm led to believe there's different types of loneliness as well.
Yeah, there is. It mentioned emotional loneliness, so that's the lack of emotional attachment to someone that's close to you, like a friend or a partner. It also mentioned social loneliness, so that's like a lack of friends to go out with or who you share your hobbies and interests with. And the last type of loneliness is a feeling of being in a room full of people and feeling like the loneliest person on the planet.
No, I think once you kind of break it down like that, I think there's a lot of different things there that people could tap into and again take something from. And as Anne's mentioned there, if you are able to, the listeners back home, if you are able to, please take a look at that NHS website. More specifically, I think it's Every Mind Matters.
Yeah. On
that topic of loneliness, there's more information regarding the concept of it, how to spot signs that you might be suffering from isolation, and then there's also some ideas and tips to manage this. And I think that's what we'll do just now. And I think, is there any coping strategies that you would kind of give the listeners? If they're feeling a wee bit overwhelmed this year?
Yeah, of course there is, Jamie. Some tips I found to help combat loneliness over the holidays is speak to somebody, talk to your friends, your family, go out, speak to your neighbours, pick up the phone for a wee chat, send a wee text and just ask, how are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And it can make such a difference to your day. It can often be overlooked, and just by doing that, it can make us really realise that we're not alone in how we're feeling.
Definitely. One of the other things, Jamie, is distract yourself. Healthy distractions like reading, listen to your favourite music, or watching your television programme that you really like.
That's a good one. Yep, the kind of comedy shows kind of help my mood. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, just kind of Happy Gilmore. I actually watched that last week.
Amazing.
Happy Gilmore, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, those are kind of good go-tos for me. And being a relevant one for Christmas, I'm going to throw the Grinch in there as well. I just think Jim Carrey, his performances, they are top notch.
Yeah, definitely. I love comedy shows too, Jamie, especially the Scottish ones, the Two Doors Down, the Still Game, even the old ones, your Scotch and Rye.
Yeah, I can relate. I don't know, that's a bit too old for me.
Oh, hey you. Practice self-care. Be kind to yourself when you are feeling lonely. Go back to your comedy shows. Make sure you're doing something to look after you. Maybe go out for a wee walk. Exercise is really good for you. Meditating is good. A wee bit of mindfulness out there. Get lost in a book or have a pamper day. And you don't need to spend a fortune in wee things like spas and things. Check out the back of your cupboard. There might be a wee bit of Mr. Matey in there.
Yeah.
But if there's not, try a wee tiny bit of washing up, like with mind a wee tiny bit in your bath. Get a wee swirl and voila, you have a spa.
Your mumming is in. I like that. Thank you. I'm going to. I'm always so glad I've heard that now. Exactly kind of what you're saying, and some of that, is free.
Totally free. Yep. There's also, join a support group. There's loads of support groups out there in the community. Online or in person is a fantastic way to meet new people, especially those that experience the same kind of feelings of loneliness as yourself.
Yeah, and I think getting to know people, it's not easy, no. It might not be easy, but it can be really comforting, again, to know that feeling that we're not alone. Definitely,
Jamie. Reach out. If you know someone who's experiencing loneliness, then reach out to them, whether it's over the phone, a wee text, or in person. Sometimes it just takes a few minutes of your time, and it can mean an awful lot to someone. Yeah, I think a smile can, make someone's day. Definitely, Jamie, definitely. And we in one of our psychoeducational support sessions, we kind of like to tell this story. It's the story of the starfish. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware of this one. Yeah, I know that one, Jamie. There's a man kind of walking along the beach, and he sees lots of starfishes, washed up ashore, and one by one he just starts putting starfishes back into the water, and a man kind of notices him doing this and goes up and says, "What are you doing? Look at how many starfish there are. You can't possibly be making a difference here." And after hearing that, the guy reached down, picked up one starfish, threw it back in the ocean and said, well, it made a difference to that one. Yeah, that one wee starfish, that one person out there. Definitely. Absolutely. Yep. So you can also volunteering for a charity or organisation that you're passionate about. Supporting people less fortunate than yourself is an incredibly rewarding experience that one that you can appreciate the positives in your life. And speaking about volunteering, we'll cover that in future episode, because obviously being a charity, we kind of are happy to take on some volunteers for different aspects in the organisation. So definitely going to stay tuned to find out how to do that. Volunteering helps you connect with others and do something good, which can also make you feel good in the process of doing that. As I said, with the LAMH, we have kind of volunteers working in our Wishaw Wellbeing Cafe and our Wellbeing Hub, and also our Hamilton charity shop. So as I said, in the future episodes we're going to talk a wee bit more specifically about that and the importance of that. But just for kind of general volunteering, I've just thrown in here that the VASLAN website, so Voluntary Action South Lanarkshire, they have a website and a locator tool, which is a really handy way to find out about volunteering opportunities near you. Yeah, and there's also Vanel in the north, so that's Voluntary Action North Lanarkshire, and they have the Alice website where you can go in and have a look at all the different things that's happening in your local community. Fantastic. Yep. So I think that's quite a beneficial thing of having myself kind of working in South Lanarkshire and yourself in North Lanarkshire, and how Jamie. Kind of bringing that together, because at the end of the day it's all to kind of work towards the same goal, isn't it? That is. Have you thought about, Jamie, spending time in nature, time outside? It's good for your vitamin D, even in Scotland. I was going to say, it was getting a bit harder to focus on that these days with the temperature, but absolutely. Yeah. But it does reduce your anxiety and it increases social interaction, because you do smile at people and maybe say good morning, good afternoon, afternoon, and it offers new experiences. Do you know, Billy Connolly says it's not the Scottish weather that's bad, it's the wrong clothes you're wearing. So get wrapped up, get your wellies on, and go out there exploring over the festive season.
It's what you make of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's absolutely what you make of it. I think in Scotland, if you're going to try and let the temperature and the weather dictate your mood, you're not going to be...
You'll not go out.
Yeah, you probably won't go out.
That's it.
So no, thanks. That's kind of great. That's good. Some information there, Anne. Lots of information and great coping strategies there. So I think what we'll do is we'll look to add lots of that information and the support available online, and we'll add a link to that in the podcast description. Should you need more information, so we'll kind of stick that in for the listeners to see when the podcast is published.
Amazing. Just before the break, Jamie, can I add a wee bit about rejection?
Yeah, sure.
So you might be scared to make the first move, whether it's talking to someone, signing up for your local club or group. It's fine to be worried about rejection, but you'll probably be surprised at how you feel when you start chatting to somebody. And remember, everyone has to go through that door for the first time.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a really good message there. So do you have any advice for the listeners about rejection?
I do, Jamie. Feel the fear and just do it anyway.
Oh, I like that. I like that one. Also a great book for any avid readers out there. Have you read that book?
No, I haven't. I haven't read it, Jamie, no.
The book, I think it's Susan Jeffers. She wrote a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And yeah, it's about finding what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and using both to learn about yourself. Gaining that confidence to challenge negative thoughts, feelings. And it links directly into what you're kind of saying there. Gives you that confidence to try something. Worst comes to worst, you don't like it.
Yep.
You know next time, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
I'll get that on my New Year list. I'm going to read that book, Jamie.
Ask Santa if you're behaving.
I will.
So thanks for that message. Okay, we've done a lot of talking up till now. I hope you found this segment informative so far. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll come back after a short advertisement for our charity shop in Hamilton. Stay tuned for part 2.
Discover hidden treasures and support a great cause at the LAMH charity shop. From vintage finds to everyday essentials, every purchase helps make a difference. Visit us today at 17 Cansell Street in Hamilton and shop with purpose. That's 17 Cansell Street in Hamilton. We can't wait to see you there.
Welcome back to the LMH podcast. Again, if you do have any free time and able to access our community venues, whether that be the charity shop in Hamilton or the Wellbeing Cafe Hub in Wishaw, definitely look to check them out. Before the break, we were chatting about loneliness and tips to break this up over the festive period. We're going to finish up with this by discussing the idea of accessible warm spaces in your local area. For those of you not aware of what these are, warm spaces are free accessible community spaces often set up in local venues. And this encourages people to pop in for a heat, a cuppa and a chance to connect with others. So as we know, the holidays bring lots of issues to the surface, including loneliness. So we wanted to provide listeners with stuff that's happening in your community over the festive period, should you need some help or just someone to talk to, or you're kind of looking out for somebody as well, a friend or a family member, and want to inform them about things. So before I go into any specific ones that we've came across, I would just like to bring your attention to a website which acts as a locator tool to find a designated warm space close to you. The website is called Warm Welcome Spaces. If you type in www.warmwelcome.uk, and if you enter your postcode into the locator tool, you get a map showing warm spaces that's close to you. So obviously this isn't going to account for every single one out there, but it can be a useful starting tool for you to be aware of. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you over to Anne, and Anne is going to give us some information about resources in North Lanarkshire.
Yep, I will do, Jamie. So the Well Cafe in Motherwell, they offer a warm space and they've got free food from 11 to 2 on a Wednesday. There's also a community larder there where 8 items of food can be bought for £3. Plus they've also got a selection of free items available, and they can be found at Motherwell Baptist Church, which is in 43 to 47 Windmill Hill Street. The YMCA there in Main Street in Bells Hill, they offer a food bank on a Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 1. And there's also Made For You in ML2 in Motherwell. They offer a 3-course lunch for adults. It's adults only, every Thursday starting 12:30 to 2. You don't have to book your place in advance, but you can contact them on 01698 384 030, and they also have a wee quiz, Jamie. So while you're having your lunch, you can have a wee quiz if you fancy taking part.
I like the sound of that. That's my language. I enjoy a wee quiz.
Yep. And of course, there's our own LAMH Food for Thought Cafe at 57 Kirk Road, Wishaw, where we have our Pay It Forward scheme, and we also hold our free wellbeing classes.
Perfect. And if you do want to know a bit more about that Pay It Forward scheme, which Anne mentioned there, please tune into episode 1 where we had our chairperson, Jack, talk us through the value of this Pay It Forward scheme.
Brilliant, Jamie. Do you have any information resources in the south?
Yep. Kicking things off, we'll start kind of locally in Hamilton. For myself, we have the Whitehill and Gilmore Parish Church. They host a weekly coffee morning on Fridays from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. We can get a cup of soup, tea, coffee, collect a food parcel, and there's also several stalls set up with different services. They're there to provide information about supporting any other social stressors that you may be experiencing. I popped up there a couple of months ago, and places like Money Matters have a stall there to kind of help.
Amazing, because at this time of year, Jamie,
absolutely.
as you know, that's a really good resource.
Definitely. Also, I mentioned too the drop-in centre. This is located on Beckford Street in Hamilton. It's just situated behind the court. They offer free warm meals every night of the year from 7 until 8 p.m. So this is including Christmas and New Year as well. So really useful tool there, and it's good for a blether and a cuppa also.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also have sometimes opportunity to pick some clothes up, some donations for clothes. So again, it just depends on what they have in if you were to pop over. But yep, 7 to 8 p.m. every night of the year, the drop-in centre have a warm meal. There's Kettles On in East Kilbride. The Kettles On Warm Space, this is at Moncrief Church. This takes place on Thursdays from 9 o'clock until 1. In the holidays that changes a wee bit, it goes from 10 until 1. They offer a warm space for a chat, company, board games, craft, support, get advice, signposted for support, free Wi-Fi. They've got a lot of kind of things going down there, and just to top it off, a wee tea and a coffee and some biscuits as well.
That's a good one, Jamie.
Can never go wrong with that. No. A wee bit more kind of rural in the Clyde side. One of our workers based in that area has informed me of a coffee morning every Monday morning in the Kirlook Baptist Church. And for more information down the rural kind of Clyde side, there's a organisation called Healthy Valleys. They have a website with lots of useful information about what's on in and around that local area. So that's Healthy Valleys, not to be confused with Healthy and Happy. I do that quite a lot. Just the word healthy just gets everything mixed up. So Healthy and Happy, they offer the kind of similar information, but that's in the Camglen area. So Rutherglen, Cambuslang. So again, you can check out that website as well about different activities and different things going on at Healthy and Happy.
That's brilliant, Jamie. Having that information of what's happening in your local community is a great resource.
Yeah, it's invaluable, I think, especially a lot of people maybe needing that support, but just not knowing where to go for that. And you said it earlier on as well, that the anxiety of going out to somewhere as well and taking that first step. So hopefully we've helped to alleviate a wee bit of that kind of searching process, and people are informed of what we've been saying there. Lastly, I would like to touch on, there's a place called the Chill Out Club, which takes place in Calderwood. They run every Tuesday between 1:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon, apart from public holidays. They provide a social meeting space just for those affected by mental health issues, so not necessarily a kind of warm space in that sense, but they're kind of always running all year round, a kind of safe haven away from the stresses and the strains of everyday life. Could be family, friends, carers, or the person experiencing such problems.
Yeah, you can also ask your nearest CAB, your Citizens Advice Bureau, to refer you to a food bank. They'll usually make an appointment for you to discuss your situation, and you'll get an advisor to help you with that. You can also get a referral through your GP or the council. Some of the food banks will allow emergency parcels, however, this is to discretion. Yeah. So phone your local Loaves and Fishes or Salvation Army, and you can find out more from them.
Oh, fantastic.
Are you feeling peckish? Swing by LAMH Food for Thought Cafe, where the coffee's hot, the cakes are fresh, and the good vibes are free. Every bite and sip helps LAMH make a difference in your community, so come on down to 57 Kirk Road in Wishaw. Plus, don't forget to join one of our fun wellbeing activities, from craft pottery to yoga classes, which you can book online at lamh.org.uk or call 01698 687 282. All classes are free of charge, although a wee donation is always welcome. The Food for Thought Cafe and Wellbeing Centre is a community space where mental health is not only valued, but supported.
Welcome back again to the LAMH podcast for our final segment. I was going to mention again that the good vibes are free. I know a couple of my friends have commented on that. I'm not going to say that after that advert every single time, because that can get quite understandably annoying. So I'm going to refrain from saying that again. But I hope you found this episode informative so far. In case you need some more information on warm spaces or food banks, as I said earlier, you can find that information linked into the podcast description for episode 2. So we were chatting about loneliness and tips to break this up over the festive period. And I think, Anne, you're wanting to add another tip in for your tips today. I like them.
Yeah, I've got lots.
So yeah, for anyone who's looking to be proactive over the holidays.
Yep. So, Jamie, I was just thinking about this during the break. There's something I've always wanted to do over the holiday is planning for the new year. I'm going to spend time over the Christmas period, and I'm going to plan my aims and goals for next year. So there's nothing better than a new diary or a new wee notepad, best writing, and start off in the new year. Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm a paper person as well. I like a wee kind of diary. I've not transferred over to the technical side of things yet, so yep, pen and paper, can't go wrong.
I like my wee diary. So what milestones do you want to achieve? Is there any personal or work related ones you want to do? Do you want to be more active? Yes, I definitely do. Is there any way you want to take a small step towards these goals right now? So working towards a goal can actually help boost your mental health.
Well, you've opened yourself up here, Anne. Do you have any goals for the new year?
Well, I do, Jamie. You know, the usual one. I want to get fit. I want to be more organised. So I've decided I'm going to make a wee list. And hopefully I won't lose the list. I'll tick it off. What about yourself?
That can be the first one on the list, is do not lose list.
That's it.
Okay, all right. I didn't expect that.
I'll put you on the spot, Jamie.
Yep. So this is going to be a bit deeper than anticipated. But I think a recurring one for myself is a people-pleasing trait.
Oh.
I know, so that's something that can be a bit debilitating at sometimes. So, yep, let's do it. Let's plan on working towards managing this.
Oh, that's great, Jamie. That's a good thing. Yep. So, we've got to think about our mental health and well-being. So, having goals and targets in general is really, really good. And I really want to call them New Year's resolutions. However, I'm not going to do it because I usually forget them by the 2nd of January.
Yeah, I think many people can relate to that.
Yeah, but if you're looking to get some resolutions or some goals for yourself this year, I've got a note of some options. So your goals, striving towards them in the new year. Read more, get a book.
Big advocate for reading.
Definitely. I think we've mentioned a couple of wee books in there, Jamie, that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
But maybe change your genre, whether you like fiction, non-fiction, true crime, thriller, romance, or a wee horror. But remember, you can also join your local library. And take out books either at home or read them in the library, because the library is a community and it's a warm space.
Yeah, absolutely. Reading is a great way to stimulate your mind, learning those new things. And as you said, just about kind of libraries in general, it is that kind of community venue for you to pop into. After all, that's where we're recording the podcast today, over in Hamilton. So yep, there's lots of kind of different things happening there. But again, back to reading, very good, very kind of stimulating for your mind to learn those new things.
Definitely. You could articles, newspapers, comics, magazines, anything at all.
A whole host of them.
Yep. But one of the big things, Jamie, I think, is take a break from social media.
That's...
Aye, it's a great tool for communication, but sometimes, it's healthy to take a break for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of negativity that comes with that, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right, Jamie, because say if you find yourself, you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're watching TikTok videos or you're on Facebook, don't do it. It's probably a clue to say, take a wee break.
I remember one time when I'd left uni and my sleeping pattern was all over the place. I ended up 2 a.m. Looking at Susan Boyle's Britain's Got Talent edition.
Jamie.
And I was at that point, I was like, okay, you need to get to sleep now. So yeah, absolutely consider tracking or limiting that time you're spending on your screens, because that can help reach your goal.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Susan Boyle, Jamie.
Yeah.
You're a
Cracking.
You're
Cracking set of pipes.
you're a dark horse. Or was it wild horses? What was it she sang? So there's also been practicing gratitude and being thankful. So it's a great habit to form, and it allows you to focus on the things that are good in your life rather than all the negative things.
Yeah, embracing that kind of positive mentality, because often we have this kind of negative thinking bias where the kind of negative things can look to take over. So I think, definitely focusing on those positives and may allow you to feel more inspired, or appreciate the current skills and achievements that you've had already.
Yep, and that helps you set new goals as well, Jamie. Another one's practicing healthy sleeping habits.
Yes.
Your sleeping habits.
Mentioned that. Yep.
Yeah, we did do. It can have a great impact in your life. So getting the recommended amount of sleep can boost your I can't even say that, but it can boost it. Your I can't say it.
Productivity.
That's a very one, Jamie. And can also improve your mood.
Yeah, I think the big thing with sleeping and stuff is that just that kind of consistency with routine. Very difficult, I think, over the time of year we're going into. I know for me, between Christmas and New Year, all the days just kind of seem to merge into one. So I think, keeping on top of your sleeping pattern and getting into kind of good routine is really helpful for this time of year. And if you're going to do it for anyone, do it for Santa, because it makes his job a wee bit easier if you're in your bed.
So get to your bed at 9 o'clock and keep to it for the rest of the holidays. Also practicing good eating and drinking. Don't consume too much over the festive period. I know it's really hard, but stay hydrated throughout the day. Get enough nutrients so you're energised, so you can do those nice walks in the countryside, and start off small. You could maybe consider swapping that last cup of coffee.
Yeah. Swap
it for a glass of water. Do you know, Jamie, what time they recommend for your last cup of coffee?
I get asked this. It's definitely sometime a lot earlier than I originally thought of.
Yeah, it really is.
So what is it? Tell us in.
3 o'clock in the day.
Okay.
3 o'clock. Yeah. That's your last coffee. That's it.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm guessing the kind of caffeine just kind of stays in your system for a long time.
Must do.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
So coffee drinkers, give it a go. Try something new. See, learning it's always a constant process. You're always learning. Make an effort to learn things about that you take a personal interest in, or things you might benefit from in your career. You can attend lectures, you can read articles, just engage in conversations. You learn something.
Yeah, we never stop, as you're kind of saying there.
That's it, Jamie. You're continuously, you can teach an old dog a new trick.
Yes.
So commit yourself to active learning can help expand your personal knowledge and may even lead to discovering new talent or interest.
Yeah, what I've actually started learning a new language. So I've actually been. It's molto bueno.
Oh, the Italian.
Exactly. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I'm doing it. So there's lots of kind of amazing kind of classes available in the community or online. There's podcasts. There's information there. So as we kind of said, it's never too late to learn something new.
That's it. And starting new hobbies. Make time for things you enjoy. They make you feel more relaxed. You're actually concentrating on the one thing. Baking, knitting. Yeah. Baking, cooking, not me. Painting, pottery, or even a wee bit of kickboxing. But make your hobby a priority.
Yeah, I think getting that sense of enjoyment. There's so much in life that we feel like we have to do or we need to do, but hobbies and interests, it's more of a kind of want. That kind of sense of enjoyment, recharging your batteries. And I think when you're mentioning some of those activities there, I would just like to remind people again about the free wellbeing classes that we offer in the LAMH Cafe and Wellbeing Hub. You heard it in one of the adverts earlier, so please kind of take a wee look at the website, give them a phone in, and maybe perhaps try a new hobby activity in the new year.
Yep. That's really good tips, Jamie. But I think the most important tip that you have to give to yourself is be kind to yourself and practice self-care. So allow yourself to take breaks. Personal time is really needed. And working on self-care routines. Yep. For example, maybe trying a skincare routine or practicing meditation, or even putting time in your calendar to relax, watch a movie, or if we said before, your favourite show.
Yep. No, I think in anything that we do, we need to show that kind of that love, kindness and understanding to ourselves, so that we're able to share that with others. So that's amazing, Anne. Thanks very much for that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
when discussing goal setting, I can never help myself, but I always find myself going back to another metaphor that we refer to in one of the support groups that we offer for coping strategies. Tackling problems as if you were climbing a climbing wall. Break it down bit by bit. That end goal's not moving. When something doesn't go to plan, do we abandon the climb, or do we just try out a different route? Learning from what didn't work for us and using that to our advantage. So, just remembering that if you are setting your goals and resolutions in between Christmas and New Year, start small or break down bigger goals to make them more achievable. Giving yourself the time and patience to complete your goals that are interesting. I think the housework's always going to be needing done. So this is about you, taking time for you to do things that you enjoy. Remember and write your goals down, check them off or highlight them through the year to mark your achievements, celebrating your progress as you go. So we'll wish you good luck with that, and I wish you good luck, Anne, in terms
thanks
of
very much.
setting your list. Hopefully,
I tick the things off. Yeah, I hope so. Yep.
So. We're coming to a close now, so we do hope you enjoyed this episode, and please be sure to check our social media pages and keep up to date so you don't miss out on any of our events or the next episode of the podcast. In the new year, we're going to be talking about things from introducing more of our services in LAMH, volunteering, and also discussing coping strategies to manage day-to-day stressors. So those are the different subtopics we're going to be covering over the next couple of episodes in the new year. So thanks for listening again. In the meantime, please feel free to come down, visit us in the charity shop on 17 Cadzel Street in Hamilton, or pop down for a coffee or a class at the Wishaw Wellbeing Cafe Hub on 57 Kirk Road, Wishaw. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from us all here at LMH. Catch up with you all later. Take care.